folks, today we're talking about my top 10 enchantment cards from Mage Wars. Now, Mage Wars is a game that has a lot of different cards. This is just one of 6 videos, and I'm talking about my favorite enchantment cards from March 2015 or before. That includes all the sets and the promos up to that point. Enchantment cards are some of my favorite cards in the game because the way they're played is they usually cost 2, and you put them face down on one of your creatures or one of your opponent creatures, and then later on you can pay another cost to reveal them and show what happens. They often give the creature a bonus, a positive effect, or in case of your enemy, a negative effect, but they're kind of like a surprise. You never know what they are. I mean, you can kind of guess amongst what exists in the game, but there's so many of them, you're never quite sure what your opponent has done. Sometimes you want to reveal them right away because they give you basically an upgrade that you want to use for the rest of the game. Other times you want to reveal them at the right moment. They're just so versatile, and something neat that I don't see in many other games. Let's take a look at them. One of the most annoying things in Mage Wars is when your opponent has these little characters with flight, and they just keep coming and attacking you and buzzing around you, and there's not a lot you can do to take them off, especially if you don't have anybody with range at that point in time. Well, this very evil card, and it just makes me cringe to look at this, the Morlock Massacre all over again. This creature loses the flying trait. Very simple card. Someone else has flying. You put this on them, boom, they take flying. Their flying is gone. It's especially fun to put it on that person. As they come, they fly over to your side of the board, and maybe even let them get in one attack, and then, whew, hey, guess what? No more flying for you. Healing Charm. Now this is a great one where when it's revealed you heal 4 attack dice. So this is like a great kind of, you put this on your people and then run them up into battle, and later on if they're getting nailed, this for a cost of 3 heals for 4 attack dice. Now you gotta be careful because just healing someone a minor heal only costs 5, and that heals 5 attack dice. But this is more like of a preemptive thing, and I like putting it on creatures again because your opponent has no idea what it is. This is a great one, the Circle of Lightning. Alright, this one you put onto a creature and it gives them a damage barrier. And it hits everybody, even those annoying magical creatures that comes in, with a chance to daze and or stun them. Now it doesn't do a lot of damage, only 2 damage, but just putting it there, and even though this has a mage bind +2, I often consider putting this on my mage just because of how useful it is. It's one of my favorite lightning spells in the game. Here's a very simple one. This one just makes me laugh and I love using it, and that's a decoy. It's nothing. It's nothing. In fact, when it's revealed, you get your 2 mana back from putting it on. But putting it on an opponent makes them sit there and worry the whole time, what did they just put on me? Putting it on your own creature, again, they're wondering, what does that guy have? And the answer is, nothing! Reverse Magic. This makes me happy. Your opponent plays a cool magic spell on you, boom, it gets bounced back to them. Now, this is somewhat limited sometimes just because of the different spells. It doesn't block the attack spells, which is sad. It just does the incantations or enchantment spells. But still, someone plays an annoying one on you, this is good. The reason it's not like #1 on my list is just because of the high cost of it, and it doesn't always work in every situation, but when it does work, it's amazing. Cheetah Speed. There's lots of enchantments that buff you up, attacks and sorts of things. I like this one. Give a creature the fast trait. This also cancels out slow. So for example, you have the Hydra who's slow. He's no longer slow. He's a normal creature. I enjoy that. Making any creature fast can really hurt your opponent, especially if they have a high attack value. Something they're moving to and attacking, great. Marked for Death. This is where you put this on one of your opponent's creatures, and everyone attacking that basically gets a +1 the first time they attack him. Now again, this is a +2 mage bind, but if you have a big creature heavy army, you can I think it's worth paying the extra 2 to throw it on your opponent's mage and then just have everybody go after them. They better have a guard quickly or they're in trouble. This is a good way to take out a larger creature that's really being annoying. Rise Again. This is for dark mages, but what I enjoy about this one, you have a creature in your deck, you put this on them, and it's very cheap to do because it only costs 2 to put on, but when they come back with a zombie, and there's damage equal to its level. But you can have a pretty big creature. You put Rise Again on that creature, your opponent works really hard to take them out, and then vroom, they're back alive again as a zombie. Eagle Wings. Now the picture for this one makes me laugh every time. a gorilla that's flying. Although, again, I prefer to put eagle wings and speed on a Hydra. It's just a crazy combo. Flying is a really powerful trait in Mage Wars, because flying creatures can't be attacked unless the other person's flying or has range, and you can do a lot of damage. But most of the flying creatures aren't that powerful. This lets you make a powerful creature flying, which is why this is my second favorite enchantment. But my favorite is reverse attack. Now, very similar to reverse magic, except attacks are going to happen to you way more often than magic spells be shot at you. So anytime they're attacked, you reveal this and boom, it goes back. Now, the disadvantage of this one is you have to reveal it, and so you're never quite sure when they're going to attack you. They might hit you with a weak attack, and this doesn't work. But you play this card on someone right before they're about to get nailed with this huge attack. Sending that huge attack back to the attacker is one of the most satisfying feelings I've ever had in my entire life, which is why this is #1 on my enchantment cards list. Well, there you have it. I mean, this was a hard category for me to pick from because there's so many good ones that I took out. I mean, and so many of them are just very simple. Just an extra attack die, giving them more armor, doing something to them. There's just so many things. And, you can really load up on a creature and give them several of these. Of course, that makes that creature that much more wanting to be targeted by your opponent. But one of the things I like in games is taking these and taking small creatures and then making those small creatures suddenly fantastic, or taking one huge creature and making that thing a monstrous beast of doom. Anyhow, these are my favorites. What are your favorite enchantment spells? Why don't you tell me in the comments? And until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.